Dust rolled across the open land like a living thing, crawling over dry grass and cracked earth, settling into the seams of the world. The sun hung low and angry, staining the sky the color of old blood. Out here nothing stayed hidden for long, not footprints, not sins, not the consequences of choosing wrong. The ranch at Coyote Fence sat alone against the horizon, its weathered boards groaning under the evening wind. Cattle huddled near the corral. Horses stamped and snorted uneasy. Even the animals felt it. Something had shifted. Inside the main house, laughter cut through the tension like a dull knife. Jed Caldwell leaned back in his chair, boots propped on the table, whiskey sloshing dangerously close to the edge of his glass. He was a man who mistook cruelty for strength and fear for respect, the kind of man the frontier produced when no one stood up to him long enough. "She didn't fight like the others," Jed said, smirking. "Didn't beg neither." Across from him, Tom Weaver didn't smile. He kept his hat low, fingers drumming against his knee. "Apache women don't beg," he muttered. Jed laughed. "She will." In the next room, bound wrists rubbed raw against rope. The woman sat still despite the pain, dark hair falling loose over her shoulders, eyes sharp and unbroken. Her name was Nalina. She carried herself not like a captive, but like someone waiting. Waiting was something her people understood. She listened to the men through the thin walls, counted their steps, measured their voices. She had been taken at dusk while gathering herbs near the dry creek. 3 riders, fast, careless. They never saw the signal stones she'd left behind. But someone would. Outside, the last light of day slipped beneath the horizon. Coyotes began to howl, and far beyond the ranch, miles away where the land rose into blackened hills, a lone rider slowed his horse. The man reined in at the edge of a ridge and looked west. Smoke lingered faint in the air, almost invisible, unless you knew how to see it. He did. Silas Crow didn't need signs anymore. He felt trouble in his bones. His coat was dust-stained, his hat brim broken from years of hard miles. A scar ran from his jaw to his collar, half hidden beneath a gray beard. Folks said he'd died twice already. Others said death had tried and failed. Silas turned his horse toward Coyote Fence. He rode through the night. Back at the ranch, tension thickened. Jed paced now, restless. "Something about her I don't like," he admitted. "Too calm." Tom finally looked up. "Then we shouldn't have taken her." Jed's hand flashed out, striking Tom across the mouth. "You getting soft on me?" "No," Tom said, wiping blood from his lip. "I'm getting smart." In the other room, Nalina closed her eyes and whispered a prayer, not for herself, but for the men who had made this choice. Her people believed balance always returned. The land demanded it. Near midnight, Jed stepped inside and crouched before her. "You got a name, Apache." She met his gaze without fear. "You won't live long enough to use it." Jed froze, then laughed too loud. "We'll see." He didn't hear the horse outside. None of them did. Silas arrived just before dawn. He stopped at the fence line, boots hitting the ground, slow and deliberate. The ranch loomed quiet now, windows dark. A wrong kind of quiet. Silas rested one hand on the fence rail, the other near the worn grip of his revolver. He remembered another fence, another woman. Another night he'd been too late. Not this time. The first rooster crowed. Inside the house, Nalina's eyes snapped open. She smiled, because she heard it too. Boots on dirt. Light spilled across the plains, turning dust into gold and shadows into long, accusing fingers. The ranch woke uneasy, doors creaked, horses shifted, and men reached for rifles before they fully understood why. Silas Crow stepped through the open gate like a ghost made solid. Every step carried history. Every breath tasted like iron and regret. Jed Caldwell saw him first. The color drained from Jed's face as recognition struck. That's Silas Crow," he whispered. "I watched you die." Silas didn't stop walking. "You watched the wrong man," he said. Gunfire shattered the morning. The first shot took a rifle clean out of a man's hands. The second dropped another before he could scream. Silas moved with the calm of someone who had already accepted the cost of violence. No wasted motion, no anger, just purpose. Inside the house, ropes fell away from Nalina's wrists. She didn't run. She walked out into the rising sun, eyes locking with Silas for the first time. Recognition passed between them, deep, unspoken, dangerous. "You came," she said softly. Silas nodded once. "I said I would. Long ago." Jed staggered back, bleeding, desperate. "You'll burn this place down for her?" Silas glanced at Nalina, then back at the ranch, the land, the men who'd broken its laws. "No," he said. "You already did." Smoke rose as the sun fully claimed the sky. But Silas knew this wasn't over. The land remembered, and so did the men still riding hard toward Coyote Fence.